Christopher Wray held a press conference yesterday defending the, quote, institution of the FBI, seemingly oblivious to the crisis of confidence that Americans now have about the FBI and Department of Justice's ability to manage any sensitive political investigation. James Comey, as I said, comes across terribly. It confirms that James Comey did everything that Rod Rosenstein said he did, and concludes everything that Rod Rosenstein concluded about James Comey's misconduct in that memo he gave to President Trump that in part formed the basis for Trump's firing of James Comey. So it reconfirms that President Trump was right to fire James Comey. It confirms that the Russia investigation has been infected and compromised by anti-Trump animus. Not only was Peter Strzok the lead FBI official on the Russia investigation until the summer of last year, when the text messages, I think, were first found by the IG. He was removed, and the reason for his removal was kept from the American people in Congress. But one of these anti-Trump lawyers was on the FBI team, it looks like, the Mueller team until February of this year. So another anti-Trumper had to be removed for bias from the Mueller investigation. Back, what is it, 5 months ago that we haven't been told about, 4 or 5 months ago that we haven't been told about. That text message, by the way, that I told you about, where Peter Strzok said we have to stop the Trump people, the Trump presidency from happening, withheld from Congress. They talk about the Andrew McCabe recusal matter. Andrew McCabe supposedly, well, he said he recused himself. Judicial Watch uncovered it last year. He recused himself just a week before the election in response to press stories about his wife getting hundreds of thousands of dollars from the Clinton cash machine through Terry McAuliffe, the then governor of Virginia. Well, it turns out he really didn't recuse himself, according to the IG, and they kept that recusal secret from Congress. Until, of course, it was uncovered by Judicial Watch last year. Not Congress, not disclosed by the Justice Department, not disclosed by the FBI. It was uncovered as a result of FOIA litigation by Judicial Watch that forced it out. Peter Strzok, another Obama DOJ official, gave a heads up to John Podesta based on information he received at the Justice Department about the Clinton email matter. I keep on calling it matter. Podesta was campaign chairman, I think campaign chairman of the Hillary Clinton campaign. So Strzok, this email that initially came out via WikiLeaks, Strzok confirmed it was true, sent Podesta a heads up on Clinton email developments that he learned from his job. And he says, well, supposedly it was public at the time. It really wasn't public at the time because he didn't send it to him saying, hey, look at this news story. He sent information he received on his job. By the way, he was also seeking an internship or a position for his family members at the same time. He's criticized. So there's a lot in this IG report. So isn't it interesting that the media will tell you there's no evidence of political bias? What the IG actually says, and I've got the executive summary here. Again, this is the full IG. And the executive summary on page 3 says, some of these text messages and instant messages mix political commentary with discussions about the mid-year investigation, which is the Clinton email investigation, and raise concerns that political bias may have impacted investigative decisions. So yeah, the IG is concerned about it too. However, we did not find documentary or testimonial evidence that improper considerations, including political bias, directly affected the specific investigative decisions we reviewed in Chapter 5, or that the justifications offered for these decisions were pretextual. Okay, so there's what the left is focused on. Nonetheless, these messages cast a cloud over the FBI's handling of the mid-year investigation and the investigation and the investigation's credibility. The broader impact of these text and instant messages, including on such matters as the public perception of the FBI and major investigation, are discussed in detail. I think it's in chapter 12. Read the text messages, you're going to be floored. So that's the IG report. And what's interesting about the IG report is all the unanswered questions that need resolution, in the sense that what about the Russia investigation? We already know it's been politicized through these text messages, which the IG references. But what about the DNC, Clinton dossier used to target Trump through the FISA court abuse? What about Spygate? What about all those shenanigans related to targeting President Trump's campaign in an outrageous and illegal way during that while, by the way, working with the Clinton vendor Fusion GPS, the FBI was and DOJ was, to target Clinton, the Trump people. I mean, just think about that. While they're bending over backwards for Hillary, they're working with Hillary's campaign vendor, Fusion GPS, to target Trump. The IG doesn't put that together, but you'll put it together when you read it. And what's also interesting is that the IG, I think, gives too much credit to the Justice Department, and you may be confused by reading it, that there was really no lawful reason to prosecute Hillary Clinton. First of all, there was no real investigation, so they couldn't draw any conclusions. So I don't understand why that could have been an appropriate conclusion. Secondly, it ignores the evidence that Judicial Watch has uncovered, and I think even the FBI and the IG acknowledged existed, that Hillary Clinton did not have an innocent explanation for her use of the email system and the subsequent mishandling of classified information that occurred. Because Judicial Watch uncovered that she was warned using a separate system like this and a private email operation and personal digital devices that weren't authorized were a risk, a national security risk. And she ignored that. We uncovered that through documents. We also uncovered through testimony, because we deposed some of those folks associated with the Clinton email matter, including Abedin, who testified it was Hillary Clinton's idea to set up the email system. And the reason it was set up, I forget if Abedin testified or Cheryl Mills, her top counselor, testified, but Mrs. Clinton set it up because she didn't want anyone to look at her emails. So of course, classified information was going to be on her system if she was going to use it exclusively for government business. And of course, you know, the FBI and James Comey, they just couldn't come up with any suspicions or any crimes associated with deleting emails and bleach bidding and destroying devices and lying to the investigators. Hillary Clinton, it looks like, lied to investigators according to this report. At least someone thought, who listened to her, thought she was lying, because she said she set it up for convenience purposes. We know that wasn't the case. So what an unholy mess the DOJ and FBI were. And you know, I've said it once, I'll say it again. The credibility of the FBI and DOJ were ruined. To the extent they had credibility, it was really ruined and decimated by this mishandling of the Clinton email matter. And the interesting thing is that Judicial Watch is really taking the lead on investigating a lot of what the IG has been looking at. This Peter Strzok matter with John Podesta, we're in litigation on that. We're in litigation on the Clinton email matter. We're in litigation on Andrew McCabe. We're in litigation on the text messages. We uncovered the Andrew McCabe recusal, but we also won his text messages and emails and such. And we're still getting the runaround from the Justice Department on that.